Hello to all of you, and welcome to the first episode of the Sycamore Built Podcast. I'm your host, Connor Brownfield, a sophomore at Indiana State University. Our goal for this show is to talk to you, the alumni, faculty, staff, and all important figures within the university about all that goes on with our great school. This first episode, we wanted to start off with a bang and chat with one of the biggest figures at Indiana State University, President Mike Godard. Here is that interview. Enjoy. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Sycamore Built, a podcast where we discuss the alumni of Indiana State University and some of the things currently going on campus. I'm joined today for our first episode by a very special guest, President Mike Godard. President Godard, thank you for joining me today.
Well, my honor to be here, and thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. And today we'll be talking about your first year on campus, some of the great things that have happened so far, and some of the things that you're looking forward to as we near the end of the year. So how are you feeling about your first year at Indiana State?
Yeah, I'll sum it up in one word: great. Couldn't have asked for a better first several months on the job, really. Time has really flown by. I can't believe, again, we find ourselves in mid-February. Fortunate to start in this role June 1st of last year. Really feel good about the momentum that we've been able to build up over the past few months, and really the relationships that we've been able to build. And me personally, that's meant a lot to me. I think about the connections in terms of the campus community with students, faculty, and staff, and the opportunities that I've had there, but also the greater community as well, Terre Haute, Wabash Valley, certainly throughout the state of Indiana, and really beyond, with all the alums and friends of the institution that I've had the good fortune of being able to meet and interact with. And so I couldn't have asked for a better start in my first year. And I think before we know it, because it's going along so quickly, the first year will be behind us. And so I'm looking forward to the future as well.
Well, it's fantastic to hear. In our previous conversations, you've talked some about the positive energy that you felt on campus, and you addressed that momentum a minute ago. How are you feeling about that positive energy? Where are you seeing that these days?
Yeah, I mean, as I get to interact with our students, I was just in HMSU yesterday afternoon, passing out my candygrams for Valentine's Day to a lot of our students, and to see the smiles on everyone's face and just their energy that they have and their passions and hearing their stories, I think that momentum is really still there, and that energy is really still there and building. I'm biased with that, but I would say it's still building as well. And that's really a testament to our entire campus community with truly just caring for each other. And I think, as you said, a culture of care. You allow individuals to kind of express that level of happiness and joy and energy that I think we all want on our campus here at Indiana State University. So thankful for that, thankful for our students and our faculty and staff who just contribute every day in very meaningful ways. And the fact that I have the honor to be able to lead this institution and hopefully establish and build upon that culture of care, that gives me energy.
That's great to hear. You've also gotten the chance to be involved in a lot of events and traditions here on campus, especially with it being your first year. What are some of your favorite events or traditions that you've gotten to be involved in?
Gosh, there's so many. And I try to be at as many things as I can possibly go to as well. I will say, experiencing my first homecoming was one that I would just say was a tremendous experience for my wife, Catherine, and I, and to be able to kind of be a part of the parade, be a part of the festivities that kind of led up to, to that Saturday homecoming day. Just, again, all the alumni who were able to come back and reestablish relationships, build new relationships with folks. So homecoming would be one. The trike race, that was pretty fun too. We had a good time with that one, and what a tradition, and a unique tradition that we have at Indiana State University. And so I would say that those are important milestones. I think, other traditions, that I was able to be a part of, kind of looking from the side, would be things like bid day for our sororities and kind of seeing the excitement and the energy that's there.
Absolutely.
I think there was only one minor injury that happened during that period of time with all that excitement and energy. And just looking forward to continuing to learn those other traditions. I think when you go to a basketball game in the Holman Center, you learn about tradition as well.
Yes, sir.
There's different times in which you shall stand and clap, and I think all those are fun things, and just encourage our students and alumni to continue to engage in those traditions as well. We want our current students and future students to kind of have that ingrained in them as they experience everything that Indiana State has to offer.
Of course. You mentioned building those connections and participating in as many events as possible. What has it been like to meet so many students and engage with them?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say I came on a college campus decades ago and I've never left, is because of the students and because of those relationships that we're able to build. So for me, it's really all about building those relationships. And the only way that I know how to do that is to be around people and to have those sidewalk conversations, those just run into each other in the commons and be able to have a conversation and see how their day's going or see how the semester's going. So for me, that's our incredibly enjoyable part of my job.
Of course.
Is I get to interact with our students and hear those. So for me, relationship building and building that trust that will be far beyond the few years that students may be here on campus at Indiana State, but those are lifelong relationships and connections that I want to be able to build with our students. What we all remember in life are the memories that we have, and those memories always are around other people and the relationships that we have with other people. And so the more I can help build those memories for our students, whether or not it's direct or indirect, whether or not I'm right there in the middle of it, or I'm just witnessing it from a distance, and helping to celebrate the great things that are going on, that's what, again, excites me and something that I certainly want to continue to invest in.
Certainly. And you're also developing new ways to engage with Sycamores, such as you've built up quite the social media presence over the past few months.
Yeah.
Why do you think that level of engagement is so important?
I think it's just another opportunity that we have to meet students where they're at, have that level of connectivity with students. There's no way that I'm going to run into every student walking down the sidewalk on a given week, but there are ways that we can connect and make sure that we have some sort of relationship building happening, even if it can't always be in person, face to face. And so I look at that as another opportunity to really build community.
Absolutely.
And on my social media channels, if that's one way to do it, I'm all in. I want to be able to do that to help make sure that students know who I am as a person, not just as a president, but as a person. And so I like to have fun. I don't take myself too seriously. So when there's opportunities to do different things on social media to engage with students, I'm there to do it. If it means that I'm dancing with students in the forest at a basketball game, I'll do that too, because I enjoy those things, and I like to be a part of the lives of our students as well. And I think, again, social media is one outlet to be able to do that.
Sure.
And I also think it keeps me connected with different things that are going on with our students as well. And so when I know that I can't tell you how many DMs I get from students about events that they have going on campus and inviting me to those events that way. I don't think they would have sent me an email, right? I think that the DMs are the way to go. And so for me, that's a great way for me to get to know our students on a different level and be able to know what's going on. And hopefully I can continue to invest in their future success.
It's certainly a new way to develop those connections and kind of foster that sense of community.
Yeah, it really is. And one thing I found out, and kind of not intentional on my part at least, is that the amount of our alums who pay attention to our social media as well, both mine and the university channels as well, because when I go around and talk to alums, it amazes me on how many comment on the social media. So I think about the connectivity with our alums and that connectivity with them then directly impacts in a positive way their willingness to engage with our current students and provide those experiential learning, work-based learning opportunities for our students. Because I think, as you're well aware, so many of our alums have incredibly successful careers going on right now, and they want to be helpful. So reminding them of what's going on campus and them getting excited about that only benefits our current students as well.
Absolutely. Shifting to some of the day-to-day operations that you've undergone the last few years, you've been able to start a lot of new projects and initiatives, some that spring to mind for me pertain to enrollment, such as eliminating the application fee and implementing automatic admission.
Right.
What led to those decisions in developing those programs?
Yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, one of the things we stand on as our mission is to make sure that we provide access and opportunity for students to come to Indiana State and not just be a student here, but earn a degree from here. And so for me, I want to make sure that we do everything we can to take down those barriers that might be in front of some of our students to have that access and opportunity to earn a degree. And so I saw that perhaps we had a couple of barriers there, and maybe some confusion points as well for prospective students and their families. And one was the application fee. You know, with the Common App that's out there right now, where students can just click a few boxes and determine which schools they want to apply to, for some students and their families, there will be financial considerations with that.
Of course.
And so if we have a $25 application fee, we might not be the box that they click, not because they're not interested in Indiana State University, but it might have just been a financial decision, not a passion decision. And so removing that barrier, I think, allows for us to be more competitive, but it also allows for us to take down a barrier potentially. The automatic admission is, we know this, if you're a high school student right now and your GPA is over a 3.0 high school GPA, we feel confident that through the support systems that we already have in place here at Indiana State, you can be successful. And so we want to make sure that, again, we don't have other hoops for students to jump through. If you have a 3.0 high school GPA, and you've taken those prerequisite courses, you're automatically admitted into Indiana State because we know you'll be successful here. You know, those are just a few. We've initiated the Sycamore Success Scholarship. That's a donor-funded scholarship that's really meant for those students who come from hard-working middle-class families, not eligible for a lot of other grants or scholarships in terms of like Pell eligibility. They're not Pell eligible, but they need a little bit of financial assistance to be able to come to Indiana State and earn a degree. And so we're just grateful for our donor support to get that new scholarship up and running that I initiated, probably within my first couple of months here. You know, we're doing well in terms of the money that we've already raised for that, and we're excited about the future and the opportunities that that's going to provide for students as well.
Naturally. And what are some of those other projects that you've been involved in that you're excited to see develop over the next few months?
Yeah, we have several going on. I mean, I would say one that we kicked off just at the end of January is our strategic planning. So our strategic plan for the institution kind of is sunsetting. It's pre-pandemic strategic plan. So as you can imagine, a lot of things have changed over the past several years in higher education and beyond. And so we have a great steering committee that's in place now that's going to allow for us to be able to really look at what those guiding principles are for the institution moving forward. And so certainly we're looking at optimizing enrollment. We want to be an institution that provides, again, like I mentioned, that opportunity for students to come here and earn a degree, and expanding our student body would be a part of that, optimizing enrollment. We certainly want to continue to focus on enhancing our student success initiatives, so every student has an individualized pathway to be successful here at Indiana State, but in life and work once they graduate from here as well. We also want to make sure that we engage our community partners along the way. We want to make sure that we're transparent and accountable for what we do, and we want to be innovative. And so those are really going to be our guiding principles as we develop out this strategic plan. that'll be incredibly important, not only for Indiana State University and our internal community, but the external constituents as well. Business and industry across the state of Indiana and beyond, because we want to make sure that we are a solution for the workforce needs and demands of the future, and that we drive the economy. And with that comes prosperity for our students once they graduate from Indiana State. And so we take that work very seriously, and we want to make sure that we put the appropriate structure in place, because it's one thing to have a plan. It's another thing to meet the outcomes of that plan. And so we'll be very goal-orientated, but mostly outcomes-based orientated with that new strategic plan. That's a big thing for us right now. Certainly, we look at opportunities that we have in other areas. Athletics is a big one, too. I really think, athletics here at Indiana State University is oftentimes kind of that front porch. It's something that we want to engage our community. And when we think about that level of engagement, there's a lot of pride that goes along with that engagement when you talk about college athletics, and especially Sycamore athletics. And so we want to be able to optimize that as well, and make appropriate investments in that, because we know that branding matters for us. And so we'll continue to look for opportunities in an ever-changing landscape in the NCAA, as we'll navigate through that, of course, and we'll do what's best for our student athletes here at Indiana State. But we have incredibly high academic achieving student athletes here at Indiana State, and we're proud of that. So when we talk about success on the court or the field or the track or the pool, we also heavily focus on that academic success, and I'm proud of our student athletes and what they've achieved in that regard.
That's all great to hear. And I want to hone in on something you mentioned a few minutes ago about innovation, specifically as it pertains to some of the renovations and expansions that are happening on campus. They cut the ribbon on the Bailey College of Engineering and Technology expansion a couple months ago. Can you give any updates on how that project is proceeding? Yeah, we're doing well in terms of our timeline. I mean, there was a lot of demo that had to happen along the way, and so we're fortunate that Garmong Construction is leading that project. This is a local company that we have a lot of graduates who work for Garmong Construction through our construction management program, and so we're really thrilled about kind of their leadership in that area as well. It's really not only going to transform our campus. This is a $66 million project funded by the generosity of the state of Indiana. And we couldn't have done this without the support of our legislators, especially our local legislators. And this is not only, like I said, going to transform our campus, it's going to transform downtown as well. Cherry Street will look a lot different once this renovation is done, and we're excited about that. A lot of the building systems in that building were original since 1980. I don't think you were born in 1980. I don't even think it was even close to you being born in 1980. So, but we have 71,000 square feet that's going to be renovated in that space. And then we're adding an additional 19,000 square feet that is going to provide hands-on learning opportunities for our students in a variety of areas. It is going to be state-of-the-art. We pair that up with the incredible generosity of Steve and Gloria Bailey and their $8 million gift that they gave to now the Bailey College of Engineering and Technology, and what that means in terms of the investment that they made in our current and future students with this $66 million investment from the state of Indiana. And I think the sky's the limit in terms of what we can do in that college, what we can do for our students, and what we can provide in terms of talent for the industries that require it throughout the state and throughout the country and globally as well. And so we're excited about that project. We have to be patient, though. That project is a 2-year project, and Absolutely. So it won't be completed until we're looking at, I believe it'll be the fall moving into the spring
of that 26-27 time period. And so,
Of course.
but everything's on track. Another one that's a great example of partnership and collaboration with the community and across the region is our project for the Chestnut Building. You know, Chestnut Building used to be where nursing was located just up until a few years ago. And that building really didn't have a ton of plans, and the university needed to make a decision. And so through some READY funding, ARPA funding, Lilly Foundation funding, we are able to now renovate that building to be a state-of-the-art early childhood education center. And that education center will serve more families that need childcare in our community. The experiential learning that our students will get, early childhood education students will get, will be right across that little sidewalk. I think about the impact that that'll have on families to be able to drive the economy. If you think about the shortage in childcare right now across the country, really, but certainly in our region that we're concerned about, that means that some people have to make a decision whether or not they can enter the workforce or not, because they can't acquire childcare, quality childcare. And so we're going to be a solution for that as well. That project should be complete this July. And we're thrilled that our board of trustees approved just a few months ago that that'll be named the Jan McCarthy Early Childhood Center. Jan McCarthy is a pioneer in early childhood education, former faculty member here at the university, and I was honored a couple of weeks ago to meet her down in Florida on her home turf now and have lunch with her and be able to hear her stories. And Jan's in her mid-90s now, and you would never know it. She is sharp as can be, and it was just inspiring to hear her path, her trajectory, and really what she's been able to do to now allow for us to have this opportunity to be a leader in early childhood education right here at Indiana State University.
That's terrific. And we also know that there are more expansions slated for development, like Root Hall and Homestead Hall,
Right.
being up next on the campus master plan. What excites you about having so many chances to develop the university and create more opportunities?
Yeah, we want state-of-the-art learning facilities for our students and for our faculty to teach in as well. And so Homestead Hall is a great example. Building that was built in 1966. Everything's original. I'm sure you've taken a class maybe in Homestead Hall.
Sir.
It looks like 1966 a little bit. And so we're going to completely renovate that building. We're not going to add any additional square footage to that, but we're really going to rethink and renovate that space. Now, this is all pending. This is pending approval from our state legislatures. And, you know, this is a budget year. And so I'm having a lot of conversations with legislative leadership to be able to certainly advocate on behalf of Indiana State University in terms of this need, but also explain the impact that that's going to have for our students, both current and future. I think about things in that building like our criminology and security studies area. I think about our high-tech crime lab unit that we have in that area, one of 10 in the state. That was funded from an initiative from a bill that Representative Stewart originally put forward back in 2021, and now we have deputized students working on digital crime right alongside our local and regional law enforcement, and most importantly, our county prosecutors as well. So those are the types of things we want to expand. Those are the types of things we want to be able to make sure that our students walk into an environment and they feel like this is a learning conducive type of environment. And we've made do with what we've had right now in Homestead Hall, but imagine what could be if we had a renovated space like we've been able to have in some of our other buildings on campus. Again, the generosity of the state of Indiana in terms of providing these types of capital resources can't go understated. It is not typical in most other states to have this level of commitment like we have in Indiana. Root Hall, probably has the most traffic in it out of any other building. Any student is going to take classes in there. We have well over 5,000 students in that building every single semester. English, math, you name it. There's a lot of things in there. Our psychology clinic is in there as well. We want to, again, kind of rethink how we utilize that space, make it innovative, make it current, and make sure that our students have those opportunities and abilities. Like you said, it fits directly with our prioritized master plan that we have in place that the university completed back in 2022. So right now, we are in the process of, going through advocating for these projects with our state legislators, and we'll keep our fingers crossed moving forward.
Of course, and I appreciate you mentioning some of the community connections that are vital to this expansion effort.
Yeah.
You've had many opportunities this year to work with community officials like Mayor Brandon Sycamore to get things done, not just on campus, but in the Terre Haute community. Can you talk about some of those projects that you've worked with him on?
Yeah, a couple of things come to mind. I mean, I think one of the things that has been fairly recent is we've always partnered with the city, of course, but Mayor Sycamore kind of being newer in his administration, and certainly I'm newer in my administration at the university as well. We've been able to have great conversations literally on a weekly basis to kind of talk about better opportunities for collaboration that the entire community will benefit from, not just us as a university or just as the city. Where we go, the city goes, and vice versa. I've said that several times. And so one of those would be the free transportation now for all of the buses that happen across the city of Terre Haute. We've always partnered with the city on that, but we increased our partnership with the city. And now, if you're a student, you can ride for free, but if you're a community member, you can ride for free as well. I hope that brings more people to our campus across the community who might not otherwise have that level of transportation. I hope that allows for our students to think about ways in which they can engage with the community even more and not feel kind of landlocked if they don't have a car. Whether or not that's going out and shopping in the community at different areas across Terre Haute, whether or not that's enjoying our beautiful park system that we have in Terre Haute as well, and the events that happen in these parks. We want our students to be engaged in all of that as well. That's one example. Another example would be our preferred partnership program. We signed an agreement not too long ago with the city of Terre Haute with that, and that allows for any city employee to be able to have access to our degree programs here at a discounted rate, and that's undergraduate or graduate degree programs. We've done the same thing with the Vigo County School Corporation and many other businesses and industries in this region and across the state, and I think those all show that level of collaboration as well. I mentioned Vigo County School Corp. I mean, I think other collaborations that we have are how can we create even more synergy between K through 12 and what we do in higher education as well. Really think forward about that K through 16 ecosystem, educational ecosystem, and how we can kind of think differently moving forward. Great opportunities right now to have those conversations with the new diploma redesign that's happened across the state of Indiana at the high school level. Well, how can we really play a part of that at Indiana State to make sure that students' opportunities really get optimized? All those are partnerships that can't happen without relationships. And I'm incredibly thankful for the relationships that I've been able to build with Mayor Sycamore, but also our three county commissioners as well. Commissioner Morris, Commissioner Klinkenbeard, and Commissioner Schweitzer have all been great partners as well in terms of making sure that we think about those synergies now and moving forward. I could go on, but I mean, those are some of the highlights.
That's great to hear. And I think we have time for about one more question today, sir.
Sure.
And obviously, since Sycamore Built is an alumni-centric podcast, I want to hear what are some things happening before the end of the year that you're really excited for and that alumni should be excited for too.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's a lot of excitement going on. I was fortunate that a couple of weeks ago, I was down in Florida for a period of time just visiting alums. And I made multiple stops. We had multiple alumni events during that period of time. And I'll tell you, we have so many alums who ask me all the time, how can I help? And oftentimes I tell them, there's a lot of ways to help, right? Get involved in the department that you graduated from, come back, talk to students, invest in our students, provide them internship and practicum experience and work-based learning opportunities, all that. But more than anything, I said, tell your story. People want to hear your story on how Indiana State impacted you in your life. And I think the more we tell that story, my mind is always thinking in that 30,000 foot level, because when we talk about optimizing enrollment, the best recruiters that we have are those alums who had really positive experiences when they were here at Indiana State. Maybe they were involved in student media and student production like yourself. Maybe they were involved in student philanthropy or organizations. Maybe they were involved in Greek life, whatever that is. Maybe they were a student athlete when they were here. Whatever that experience is, in addition to your academic experience, tell your story. And so I am excited about our alums being even more engaged with our current students. And I think what I've heard from our alums is they're excited about that too. We just had this past weekend our interview day for network scholars over in the Scott College of Business, and our Gongaware Scholar interview day as well. We had so many alumni who came back on a weekend and were here the entire weekend just investing back into Indiana State and being a part of that process. Those are the types of things that we want all of our alumni to have opportunities to be engaged with. The alumni events and reconnections like homecoming and everything are all a part of it. But I'll say this, what I'm excited about, and I hope our alumni are excited about, is that we're moving forward in an aggressive way, making sure that we're a leader in higher education at Indiana State University, that we're a solution to business and industry to drive the economy and provide that talent that we know is necessary in all fields. And we want to continue to invest in the future and in our future Sycamores. And we can't do that without our alums taking a large role in that. And I have no doubt that they're all going to step up and want to be a part of that because of the passion and the pride that they have for their alma mater in Indiana State University.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today, sir. Really appreciate this opportunity to speak to you and kick off our new Sycamore Built podcast, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Whether you were watching along or listening to our first episode, check out our social medias for updates on future guests, and make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page to get notifications on new episodes. This has been the Sycamore Built Podcast. I'm Connor Brownfield. Take it easy.